Hey everybody, don't get anxious, get prepared. Your career engineer right here. Today I'm going to be hitting those Ask the Career Engineer questions that I received from folks from text, from email, from messages, or folks that really just hit me up. So I want to share those. But this is also an opportunity for about 30 minutes that we are together here on these platforms that you can submit a comment or a question as well. I will do the best I can to hit those all in this time frame. We're streaming right now on all most of our pretty popular platforms. So YouTube and our Twitters or whatever, the Facebooks and all that kind of good stuff, right? So listen, subscribe, hit the reminders, like, follow, do all those things so you don't miss another whenever we come together. Like sometimes I'm very impulsive. I can just say, hey, I'm gonna hit something. So that way you won't miss anything. So hit this reminder or subscribe and all that kind of good stuff so you don't miss whatever we're going to talk about today, right? And of course, you can find us everywhere. Yes, I even did a TikTok this morning. I did. I did a TikTok. Still not, I know the whole world is exploded on TikTok. I get it. But I'm just not quite there, guys. What I'm doing, you all have asked, so I'm obliging. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, right? Look at my heading. What's going on? That's a little better, right? So we are TikToking. You can see all that down there as well. So be a part of that if you'd like to, if that's your place of space. All right. So everything about us you can find right here at tcenow.com. That's also a place you can send an email to me about any questions or comments that you have and all that kind of good stuff. And don't forget to join our TCE Career Weekly. You can subscribe.tcenow.com. Hit us up on our website. Summit's coming, all kind of good information. Everything is on the website. So make sure you check it out. Let me get to question number one because I really want to make sure we're hitting some good content for you as we're coming together live here on these streams. As I said, hit your comments here, whatever platform you're on, you can stick it there. I'll read it and do what I can. So, any tips for business owners right now? And I want to be clear that sometimes I know I often I'm guilty of this. I am the career engineer. The word career is where we started, where we always, that's our gospel, I should say. I'm also an entrepreneur though, aren't I? Right. So that would mean that we have been in this entrepreneurial space a while, way back. I mean, before Facebook was created. Ooh, which put some age on me, even though I'm still saying to the whole world, I am still 29. I'm still saying that. At least I feel that way. So, yeah, tips for business owners. I mean, I tell you, the career world and the business world are very connected. I mean, whether we're cousins or siblings, when something goes up on one, it might be an inverse relationship. It could be a parallel relationship. But if you have a widget or a service that you sell to people who have jobs, because don't they need money to buy your widget or service? So you need to pay attention to those career numbers. That's why joining our newsletter or making sure you stay connected to our content can help you, entrepreneur. I mean, if you feed people, if you clothe people, if you do their hair, if you're driving people somewhere, if you have services that are helping their career, their lives, or their business, you got to pay attention to the news in that space so you can know what to do in your space. So one of the biggest things I often tell business owners, pay attention to policy. Pay attention to policy because it's going to affect your pocketbook just as much as the person looking for the 1099 or the W-2 out there. We learned to get lean and mean during COVID. Don't go back to what you did before. I mean, if I had to say anything to a business owner, I know some of us long for the days of yesteryear, 3 years ago. But if you learned some new tech or touch, or there's new tools that are helping you to be more effective, efficient, and accurate, and saving you time, talent, and treasure, don't you dare go back to what you used to. Big mistake going back. I wish things would be how they were. You've got to embrace the moment, and then you got to think about tomorrow. So, and at the end of the day, for businesses, what's my definition? Find a need and fill it. I mean, hopefully, whatever you're doing, you found a need and you're filling it, and you can fill it all kinds of ways. Haven't we learned that? All kinds of ways. But if your business is a hobby, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But be careful investing time, talent, and treasure to hobbies, and then determine whether or not that hobby can really be a sustainable business. Everything takes time. There was no millionaires overnight, but don't believe that stuff you hear. It's a bunch of bogus. Anything good is going to require real work. So get your work on. So that's what I say for tips for my business owners. Okay. Again, thank you for Mondays. First Mondays of the month, we'll come here with a live Q&A so that we can answer any questions or comments that you may have live. But we're going to respond to the ones who emailed us from the previous month so we can answer that as well. Okay. And again, a lot of people do catch us on the demand side. Quiet. Oh, that's a misspelling. Quit quitting. No, it's quiet quitting. Okay. There you go. What's it all about? Well, I'm going to tell you, this new phenomenon ain't so new from back in the day, right? But I get it. There's a new spin on it. It's basically, there's two ways to look. And actually, I did it. I have a blog. I'm blogging on it. So definitely hit up my website so you can look at our blogs, because I think I talked about it in blogging. And I actually did a TV segment for one of the NBC Fox affiliates about this new phenomenon, right? It ain't really new. I need to fix that because it says quit, don't it? I should fix that. So we'll say quiet. Let's see how multitasking I can be. Can I fix it? I said, we do live TV, right? So what have I learned? If you do it live, there you go. So now, yeah, there, I think I got it. Well, I think I got it. Ready? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I fixed it. Let's see if I fixed it. Boom. There you go. It's fixed. So, doing just the minimum, just doing your job, just doing your job, the minimum of your job. I mean, I feel the office space movie coming on. I just see all that. But and I get you. You're trying to balance stuff, but listen, is it the job's fault that you don't know how to say yes or no? I mean, folks, figure out your priorities, but you still have to make a living and you still have to eat. So in the old days, we were checking out mindfully and spiritually at the job, and just we're just doing the bare minimal. Give me my little do that. I'm not doing the extra. I'm not coming in early, not staying late. I'm not getting on the task force. I'm not getting on the blue ribbon committee. I'm just doing the bare minimum so I can take care of what I got to take care at home. Well, you should have been doing that all the way. That's my feel of that. Now, what's going to happen with the quiet quitters? I got to tell you something. There was this great comment that I think his name is Scott Galloway. Boy, I wish I had said this. I just wish I had said this. He said, because this is about business. I need all the quiet quitters and the quiet not workings. That one came from my husband. I gotta do a push up about what he said about that. But the quiet Scott, I think his name is Scott Cowell. He's an economist. I think New York University. I just love his insights on a lot of different things. But he said the quiet quitters are going to be the loudest unemployed. I mean, I couldn't have wrote, man, if I could have made that one of my push-ups, because to everyone in the workspace, it's been your market for a good while. What have we learned? Change is the only thing that's permanent. Suck up your biscuit gravy right now, because things will change. And when time comes from an economic perspective, with people, places, and things, and I have to make a cut because things are changing. It's more expensive to do business. It's more expensive to keep the lights on. It's more expensive to keep the staff on board. And I've got to make some cuts. Who do you think is going to go first? The quiet quitter or the person that's giving me more value for the money? I mean, what do you do when you go shopping? Do you just get what's listed on the rack, or do you try to find the best value for your buck? Please don't think corporate America don't do the same thing. So to all my quiet quitters or quietly not working people, be careful. You may be the loudest unemployed, because it's about economics. It's not about how you feel right now. It's about business in the USA. Okay. So I'm not saying you got to burn it at both ends. No job should be that way, but you've got to be careful with with your quiet quitting. I mean, and maybe I'm sharing my generation here, but I'm telling you, I do it all. If I got to let something go, I'm going to let go of the thing that's not really producing for me. That's business. And feelings will not be attached to that. It'll be a quiet layoff. Right. So that's what I think. Okay. We had another question. You guys did submit some really good ones from last month. And I appreciate, when I said earlier, you got to pay attention to policy. I appreciate those of you who are paying attention, and the words recession and the inflation and the Fed's raising the rates at the time of us chatting right now and all those kind of things. They're very important for you to pay attention to. So here's this up. People have asked me, and this is all this talk about recession, how's it going to affect my job, man? And there's a lot of data that's coming out about that. In fact, the JOLT report, which I pay attention to a lot of those reports, but in these you can get to BLS.gov or Department of Labor. You can follow their platforms. They put out some really good data all the time, like lots of data though, right? But we're looking at trends. I'm looking at patterns. I'm looking at trends of hiring and separation and unemployment claims and all these things. But here's what folks are saying. Like, this is such a weird place, right? Like, as well, at the time of me talking to you, we still had around 11,000 unfulfilled jobs, right? 2 jobs for every able-bodied person. Unbelievable. And that doesn't happen in a recession. Usually when we have a recession, we have a significant job loss. So we've got these weird scenarios, partly from COVID and all those stuff we went through the last 3 years. So our numbers don't make sense. However, we got new numbers coming out soon, and we're all paying attention to it. So will there be jobs that will be affected? Yeah, but unfortunately, what the economists say, and those who this is their job that they study is, we've seen the tech companies start laying off. Snap lost what 20% of their folks. We've seen tech kind of take a turn, but it's also some of the folks that you rely on, them essential people. We're finding that sometimes when we have a recession and we're going to have job loss, that people can't afford to do, it's more money. I won't say they can't afford. It costs more money to do what you do, and having people work for you and having lights on and buying products and using the corporate credit card, all that stuff costs money. Yeah, there's companies making billions, but there's some who are not. And who lets go? Well, I'm going to have to let go some of my people because I can't afford to keep paying this, so I'm going to have to let this go so I can keep paying this. We find that sometimes it's more the low wage. Sometimes from diversity, different work groups are impacted by that. So if you're a front of the house, front of the line, customer service, front desk, something like that in hospitality, those kind of places, the restaurant, if the restaurant can't continue to buy their eggs the same way, they're going to let go of some staff. So it just depends on where you're at, but we're all paying attention. You might be a white collar, data scientist. Maybe you're fine unless you work for one of these tech companies that are letting people go or rescinding job offers because things have changed, right? So recession is a word we all got to pay attention to. In fact, there are people that saying we are in one right now and we don't even know it, only because we have some really weird job numbers. So it could affect you. It could affect just supply chain. It could affect things you normally need that you can't get, and it could affect layoffs. My humble opinion, but I'm sticking to that story, right? So that was an exceptional question for folks who are paying attention to policy, and I thank you for that. Let's see, getting interviews, and I'm getting a lot of you guys are saying this, and I really feel for you. I do. Please know I do. I know it's tough, and I wish, even though I just said 11 million jobs, right? Getting interviews, which is a great thing. If you're getting the meetings, God bless you. That's you're on the right path. However, you're not closing the deal. So someone's saying, "What am I doing wrong?" I can't really get specific because I really don't know what you're doing wrong, right? Because we're not, I don't know your background, or I don't know what you're putting out there. But I will say, if your resume or your profiles or your networking is getting you a meeting, that's great. The question I won't. The question I will ask, I won't say probably, is I wonder when you're having the meeting, are you in the right space? Maybe you are. Maybe you're very, very, very qualified for what you're having the meeting for. Maybe you're overqualified, meaning that okay, you sent, maybe you're customer service on my brain. Maybe you're a customer service professional, but you sent that resume, I don't know, to a data scientist job. Okay, that's extreme. I get it. It would never happen, but feel where I'm going. But maybe they interviewed you anyway because they saw your profile and they just liked your energy and they have a meeting, but you're not going to be able to do the job because you don't have skill sets. Okay. You just don't. All right. So, yeah, that's an extreme. But maybe there's a customer service manager job and you've been in customer service a long, 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 long time, but never been a manager, but you feel in your heart and your soul you can do it. And they gave you a meeting, but perhaps in that meeting you didn't sell enough of how in your heart and your soul that you could do this, right? So it could be your salesmanship, it could be your presentation, it could be your sales closing technique. Notice I'm saying the word sales. It could be your affect, it could be technology or any assessments they gave you. It could be you weren't excited enough. It could have been, you know, it could have been a lot of things, or it could have been they just picked someone else. Happens. It happens. But just because you got to know doesn't mean it's always no. There are people sometimes that that particular job wasn't for them, but there may be something else. So it's always great to see if you can follow up, have that person keep your brand in their pipeline in case something else shows up that's for you, right? So it could be a whole lot of different things. Now, if you weren't getting interviews, I'd say there's a whole lot more you're not doing. So make sure you're in the right space. Make sure you're closing. Make sure you're doing your research, because job search is a job, y'all. Job search is a job. Okay. So those are my tips and tricks for those who sent those questions, which are really extremely amazing ones. We will be here first Mondays that we allot up to 30 minutes for Q&A, particularly for if we get folks who want to come on board. live while they're watching, but no worries. You can catch us on demand. That is fine. We have no problem with that because we have a pretty solid, particularly on YouTube, a pretty solid following there. But if you have a question, even after this, right, even after this conversation, you'll hit me up. You can, I'm just going to orally say my email because I guess I don't have it up here, which is not a good thing, right? Not a good thing, but you can, come to our website, tcenow.com. There you can reach out to me. You can book a free consult. You can send me an email at info, right, at tcenow.com. That's really easy. Info at tcenow.com. Just put Q&A in the title so I can know. I get a lot of emails there so I can know what your question is, and we can have it on tap for next month when we do our Monday Q&A. Questions or comment on anything I said, whatever platform you're enjoying this on, put a comment there. I will respond as soon as I can, right? So that's how we roll here. But I want to thank all of you again for being a part of us live or later. And those were some really, really cool questions as we're going into the October month of this year, y'all. 3 months to go, right? Can you believe it? And then we're done. But if you want to get that job by Christmas or the holidays, you got to really get your A game on, right? So y'all be blessed. Stay safe. And I look forward to connecting with you next time on, any of our profiles, right? So I'm putting this thing on so I can know I can do this right. All right. Y'all be blessed. Take care. And remember, don't get anxious. Always get prepared. I will catch up to you next time. Be blessed.